I don't know what I'm doing. I think I'm live. Okay. All right. There was supposed to be a button that I clicked that said go live, and there was no button. I clicked live on one thing and it All right, so welcome to the Intuitive Defense live stream. Hey, Joseph Wilson, what's going on, buddy? Um, uh, Baker isn't here, as you can see. My buddy is he's let me down yet again. Thanks, Joseph. Appreciate it. I should have asked that question. That's what I should have asked him. If the audio was good. You know what? I should probably, because my phone over there, I have topic notes that I'm going to go over with you guys just to give you all a brief understanding of what we're going to be talking about today. All right? So there's just only 2 viewers. Okay. We'll worry about one thing at a time because my brain works like that. So the topics that we're going to be talking about today is NFA stuff, because Baker's has a lot. It's not new information, but it is current information about the NFA stuff, both about the price of the NFA items, or the tax for the NFA going to 0, which is awesome, and also about Chris Murphy, that jerk off from Colorado, wanting to increase the tax by, like, I think it's 4,000%. So then there's the P320 stuff. I have some, I wouldn't say insight into it, but I did a video where I picked up some P320s that Baker has in his place, and I'm feeling itchy right now, sorry. Where I actually did that test that Wyoming Gun Project did. So I might be able to show that to you if I figure out just how in the hell I can do that. Then some updates for NOOB and some future plans for collaborations. And we have a special request that we're going to be sending out to people. So there you go. Oh, I see Baker. And he's muted. I'm like, hey, he's not muted anymore. I'm like 5 or 6 years older than Baker. But boy, whenever it comes to technology, he is not the one. So there are 2 viewers on chat. Hold on, let me send a message to Baker. Let me see if I can drag him in. I don't know if he's talking yet. Hey! I dragged you. I dragged you in, buddy. I've heard about other people doing that. So here we are in the little live stream chat room that I've set up. So people can't just come into the chat room and talk to us and just start yapping away like we've had happen a couple of times. Okay, not gonna mention any names, Grim. But some people have come in and just started yapping away. So I set this up to make sure that people can't do that without our permission. So we have to drag people in, and you just simply drag people by clicking on their name in the chat room, that the voice VC room that everybody else is in, and just dragging them in. So click and drag kind of thing. So I was going over, we have a whopping 3 concurrent viewers right now, Baker. What? Yeah, we're live right now. So go ahead and do a little bit of this. You got those long arms. You know you can do it. And that went down to 2. Yeah. So I have gone over the topics while I was waiting for you to show up. So yeah. Do you want to add anything? Oh. Yeah. Yeah, and I sent a message to everybody on Discord. So maybe you should give a little bit of info about why you're not in your home right now. And you muted yourself. There you go. Right. No, no video. Oh, I see something trying, and it stopped. It didn't. It didn't go. Still nothing. Right. Whenever you were still sitting in the chat room, I could see you on the side, and I noticed you're in the chat room, but you weren't in here. I can hear you now, and so I told everybody that's watching. I was like, "Yeah, I'm a little bit older than Baker, but he is terrible with technology." So that's why I had to drag you in. Hey, nice. Nice. Do you have pants on? It's cutting in and out. What about now? I can hear you. You're muted. No, you're not. I can hear you. Okie dokie. All right. You can hear me now? Okay, cool. Right. Right. Hold on, real quick. I've seen a message in chat. Joseph Wilson says he's still got no audio. Joseph, can you hear Baker? Gotta wait for him to update. I can hear you. God damn it. Yeah, I'm getting messages. The stream's current bit rate. Oh Jesus. People, Joseph is saying that. Uh-huh. Huh. Okay. Oh, wait a minute. Okay. All right. Let me see something here. I think. Okay, Joseph. I think I might have fixed it. I might have had some settings wrong. I fixed the settings, so whenever Baker gets back in, more than likely you'll be able to hear him. Okay. Yay! All right. But my internet is fucking dog shit. I'm getting an error message saying YouTube is not receiving enough video to maintain smooth streaming. As such, viewers will experience buffering. There's nothing I can do about it. Right. So there is that. Waiting for Baker to get back in. Oop. Yeah. Then. Huh. Oh, there it is. All the way on the bottom. Okay, so I don't want to be boring sitting here on stream waiting for Baker to get back in. So, what we plan on talking about is we've got the NFA stuff, we've got the P320s, we've got Chris Murphy, we've got the updates to NOOB. One of the updates to NOOB is that we have we've started working with a target company called Medusa Targets over in Shreveport, Louisiana. We are producing or getting them to produce paper targets for us. And one of the paper targets that we have, actually it's a set of paper targets to simulate multiple targets so you can set them up so you can have some traversal stuff happening on the range. Or if you happen to be at a indoor range where you may be able to rent 2 lanes, I don't know. Don't want to cause this to be any more expensive than it actually is. But we've set it up so that we can simulate as much as we can a outdoor range shooting steel, and we've managed to put the particular shapes and colors of the steel targets that we shot for NOOB onto the paper targets. The only thing that's stopping us from getting those paper targets out to the public is we need to come up with, we need to rewrite our steel challenge or steel target challenges and make them come in line with the paper targets, seeing as how you don't have the instant source of ding whenever you hit. So that's what we're doing with NOOB, and I'm super excited about it because that means that, there we go, I can click on this. Here we go. Drag me into, oh yeah, Baker. Oh yeah, here we go. Kind of surprised he can't get in. Okay, so you're muted, Baker. Let me...
All right. Can you hear me?
Hey, I can hear you. So
yeah, let's see how the video goes.
Hey, nice. You got that vertical shit, son.
All right. So you can see me on video?
I can see you on video. You're doing the robot thing, but hopefully the stream will eventually smooth out. Joseph, let us know in the chat if everything sounds good to you on Baker's end.
I can't see myself on my own screen in the video, but I'm glad that you can see me.
I can see you. Hey, old Joseph said that everything's working. Fantastic. So we got video and audio. Yes. So that means that since you're here, I don't have to vamp. So that means that we can just jump straight into the NFA stuff in order to get this party started.
Yeah. And we're on time.
And we're on time. Holy shit.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, before we start, anybody that's watching, anybody that jumps in, I realized that I said some curse words like a couple minutes ago. So we're going to do a clean slate. We're going to try this to have this a PG rated stream. So nothing too crazy. So yeah.
Yeah. So obviously I'm behind the ball on what you've already covered just because technology is what it is.
The only thing that I covered is I went into a little bit more detail about the paper targets. That's it.
Okay, cool. Did you already give a little brief rundown of what you've been up to?
No, I didn't. No. I can if you want me to.
If you want to just jump in on that, you can, and then I'll give an update on me, and then we can get into it.
All right, cool. So the things that I have been up to. Joe is way shorter, and I'm too dumb to change my name. I don't. Oh, okay, Joe.
When you say saying Joseph, yeah.
Gotcha. Okay, Joe. Okay, got it. Not a problem. Okay, so what I've been up to, I've been editing. I don't do a whole lot of filming because my time is pretty much caught up between working. I work for Amazon and editing. I edit for a couple of YouTube channels, and one of them is Tactical Turtleneck. He's a good dude. Interesting videos. And the other one, I am the side project editor for Angry Cops, which is kind of cool. It's interesting to see that kind of stuff going on and the insanity that goes into the background of his videos while he's filming them. I wish I could.
Yeah, I can only imagine what that looks like in the raw.
Yeah,
edit.
I wish I could show some of that stuff, but it'd only be interesting to him and maybe one other person. I don't know. So that's that's what I've been doing. I haven't really been doing a whole lot. There you go.
Well, there's that. Um, and then when I was on my computer before I jumped into the call on my phone, you'd asked me to tell people why I'm not home. It's just because I'm overseas for work, and I've been gone for pretty much this whole year. I think I was home for a few months, not even a few months, a few weeks, and we did some filming, and we can explain kind of what we've been working on in terms of filming once we get to the NOOB updates later on. But yeah, that's what's going on with me. So that's one of the reasons why we've slowed down on some of the content being pushed out, just because 2 separate locations, 2 different things going on, and so but hopefully soon we'll get back into it.
Right. Now, everybody watching this right now, do me a favor, like the video, and just have a conversation in the side chat.
There you go. Too easy.
Just talk to Joe. Tell him how much of a lovely name Joseph is, and he shouldn't be ashamed of it. And then he should go by Joseph. And then there you go. So help out the channel a little bit. You know what I mean? We don't have anything for you to buy. Actually, we do. We at intuitivedefense.com. I wish I had a banner ready.
That would have been perfect. Perfect editing, right? Or marketing.
So go to Intuitive Defense and look at stuff.
We got stickers, patches, t-shirts, hats.
Hell yeah. So like the stream, comment, and if you just want to tell us how stupid we are, man, have at it. We'll probably agree with you.
Yeah.
So Baker, take it away. Go.
No problem there. All right. So obviously the whole point of this live stream is just to get caught up on some current events and just what's going on with us in general. So I guess the first thing that we'll get into is 2A information, Second Amendment information. Obviously, the primary purpose of our YouTube channel is 2A stuff. So it makes sense for us to talk about a little bit of it right here on live. There's been a lot that has been going on in the 2A space, which I'm sure you and other people have been keeping up with. Some of it kind of gets lost in the news. Some of it's bigger information. Obviously, the biggest one is the new changes to the NFA that will be coming down and should take effect in January of next year.
I gotcha.
And you and I have talked about those a little bit, and I plan on going bonkers in terms of taking advantage of no NFA tax stamp on suppressors. Not so much SBRs, but more so suppressors. So with and we did a current event video on this, but the big beautiful bill that was signed into law on July 4th that reduced the $200 tax stamp on suppressors and SBRs to $0 starting in January of 2026. So that's a pretty big deal. Before that, and even currently now, there's been a few companies that specialize in selling suppressors and then setting up trucks and doing everything that needs to be done in order to get the paperwork done and suppressor in your hand. Some of those companies have been waiving the tax stamp, or they've been paying for it. And so there's still a way right now where you can purchase suppressors without having to pay a tax stamp. But sometimes some of those companies, it only applies to certain suppressors or things like that. So come January, all suppressors and SBRs will have a tax stamp of $0. So I have to do all the paperwork, go through the rigmarole for that. But you save $200, which is a pretty big deal. Especially if you plan on getting a few suppressors at a time.
How many is a few? Just let your ATF handler know what to look for.
Yeah, I'm not going to disclose that just yet because, one, I want to surprise the ATF, and two, I don't want my wife to get really upset. So but she still thinks suppressors cost like $6 each.
I mean,
So
she's a girl. She doesn't. They don't know money and stuff.
yeah. I don't plan on doing any SBRs right now, just because with using a brace, it's just easier than having to do all the paperwork.
True.
Um, but the suppressors, obviously, that's huge for when we're out on the range, especially if we want to do some low light, no light shooting, just to help make the neighbors not so upset. Even though it's something like we have neighbors that live right on top of us, but still,
Yeah.
it can get loud out there. And then just for general hearing protection, obviously suppressors is a big benefit there, along with flash signature reduction and things like that. So
Yeah, but you don't even need hearing protection. Your hearing is so terrible because you like to sit there in right next to a 22 rifle and stand next to it with no hearing protection on. So your hearing is already bad enough where that's not a consideration anymore.
yeah, well, one, I figured that I would do that because I ride my bike without handlebars. That's a fun song. And two, I don't think that rifle is loud at all. I think the pistol is louder. The 22 pistol is louder than that rifle.
I had my hearing protection on the entire time, so I didn't.
Yeah, it didn't bother you any. You definitely should have taken them off and listen to the natural cracks of that rifle.
No, I'm not gonna do that. I'm not gonna do that. By the way, somebody mentioned in chat a living healthy with Ashley. This is somebody that you might be familiar with. Said, what is the update on the bill that Democrats are trying to push through?
So the Chris Murphy, who's out of Connecticut, he is very anti-2A. He's not anti-gun. He enjoys guns because he has a security detail that protects him. He's just anti you having a gun.
Wait, me? Like the me or the royal me? Like everybody that's not
especially you, but everyone also.
I guess he got all my family.
Had the bright idea.
He's like, screw that one guy.
He had the bright idea of proposing that not only do we bring back the NFA tax stamp on suppressors and SBRs, but we adjust for inflation. And so that's one of the things with the tax stamp is when the NFA first came out in 1934, the tax stamp was set at $200, which in 1934, $200 was a lot of money. Yeah. Adjusted for inflation would be roughly $4,709.
Nice.
Today.
Definitely which no impediment to exercising your Second Amendment rights. And
yeah, exactly. Yeah, everybody just has that kind of case.
Right.
Yeah. So as time went on, there was no adjustment to the NFA fee. It just stayed at $200.
Yeah.
And so then his proposal, which I don't think will make it through the final bill, and it definitely, in my opinion, won't get signed by the president if it did make it through. But his proposal was a $4,709 tax stamp on every item that you submit that requires a tax stamp.
Right.
So if you purchase 2 suppressors, you get almost $10,000 just in taxes on top of the cost of suppressors and things like that. So it definitely makes it, very out of reach for the common person. But of course, I would imagine his security detail and then other agencies, they'll run suppressors, but the common person won't be able to.
True.
And that was one of my concerns when this got reduced to a $0 fee. And I had mentioned it in the current event video, and even you and I had kind of briefly talked about it, is the goal was to have those items completely removed from the NFA in that bill. That didn't happen because of parliamentarian. And so they made some changes, they being the Republicans pushing for it, made some changes where they just altered the verbiage and reduced the tax burden to $0.
Right.
My concern when that happened was exactly this. At some point, a politician will get the bright idea to bring back the NFA, not only just bring it back, but make it so outrageous that the average person can't cover the tax, which is exactly what they've done. And so that's why it's really important that pro 2A politicians, pro 2A groups continue to fight and have suppressors and SBRs completely removed from the NFA. And once that happens, then no additional taxes can be imposed on them later on. And then by that time, they would be common use items, and it'd be incredibly difficult for them to be regulated again.
Right.
So hopefully that'll happen. There's a few lawsuits in the works from a few very pro 2A organizations that realistically maybe within the next year will have those items removed from the NFA, assuming everything goes their way.
Yeah.
So I guess one of the Supreme Court have held up those items being controlled by the NFA because it's a tax item. They're not banned from possession. It's just a taxable item. Therefore, it's okay to do that. But now that the tax is reduced to zero and they are no longer taxed, theoretically, they are not. It's unconstitutional that they're on the NFA.
Right.
And so that'll probably be the main push if they do to get them removed from the NFA. But there's some concern that the argument will then be made because of interstate commerce reasons, they have to stay on the NFA.
Right.
So it won't be as easy as just saying, hey, look, these are no longer taxed, they need to be removed from the NFA. There's still a battle ahead to be had. And hopefully they can win that. And then hopefully other anti-Second Amendment politicians won't get bright idea to follow Chris Murphy's lead or anyone else.
That's a big hope.
But I know that there's plenty of politicians that are just waiting in the wind to come back and do all sorts of anti-Second Amendment ones. Chris Murphy was just the first one to push it.
Right.
So.
I got you. Hell yeah. Thank you, Living Healthy with Ashley. That was a very good suggestion. Thank you for keeping us on track. I know who that is, but I'm not going to say.
Me either. But now she for sure knows that suppressors are more than $6 because she's evidently listening to the stream.
Okay, so my internet improved just a little bit. So hopefully the little preview window that I have on YouTube isn't indicative of the what do you call it? The smoothness of the video, because it's choppy as hell right now. So.
Is it?
Yeah. The apartments that I'm in, and I'm literally surrounded by fiber optic internet. And the apartments that I'm in, they're so cheap that they absolutely refuse to get a partnership with AT&T or whoever to get fiber optic in here because it would cost them a little bit of money to rewire everything. So fun times.
Yeah. Well, and even in the chat, people are talking about Starlink. Maybe you just need Starlink there. That's what we have in the gun room, and it worked out pretty well for us.
No, I looked at the upload speed is the part that matters the most whenever you're doing a live stream kind of thing, and it's at about the same that I have right now.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah.
So that's what's going on with suppressors, SBRs. Do you plan on getting an SBR suppressor?
I need to actually pick up some hours at work before I can start thinking about buying anything right now.
Yeah, I definitely plan on picking up a few suppressors. Ashley and I have talked about it because Ashley, you know this, and some people watching the chat may know this, but Ashley enjoys shooting. Matter of fact, I think you and her were out on the range a week ago doing some shooting.
Yep.
And so she has 365, she has a Glock and things like that. Also has a rifle, but she has a 365. And so there's a few suppressors that we plan on getting, 9mm suppressors for our pistols. Uh, that way, we just have them there on the property. We both enjoy taking walks. She enjoys taking a walk around the property, and she likes to stay trapped so she don't get clapped by little bitey creatures out there.
I've seen that.
Yeah. And so there's a few suppressors that we're looking at there. One of them being just that she can keep on her pistol while she's out on a walk. And that way, if she does have to put something down, she doesn't have to worry about putting her ears on and then
Right.
taking a shot or just shooting without ears.
Right. She actually sent a message in the side chat. Your stream is that bad. I don't know. Very choppy. Fantastic. That's freaking awesome. I'm trying not to curse right now. Anyway, Ashley, hey, Grim, is just the video choppy or is the audio? Okay, sounded good though, because that's really all that matters. So
Okay.
Ashley sent a message saying that Kennedy disagrees with the suppressor on my 365. Tell him he is wrong. She was talking about a suppressor on a carry gun in her purse.
Yep.
Why would you
do
that? Why? That's dumb.
Why?
Because she's not going to have it in a specific holster for that particular gun. It's going to have to be some sort of jerry-rig bullshit inside her purse or man bag or fucking something. Because she's a...
What's that? No language.
Oh, yeah.
PG.
Yeah. So she's going to have to rig up something, and it's going to have to be jerry-rigged. And so that means that it's going to be of a lower quality. Oh, we got messages. How come I didn't hear those messages? Oh, no.
So not necessarily. That's not necessarily the case. This is a good segue into just some additional 2A stuff here.
Yeah.
That is applicable since the tax will be coming off suppressors.
Yeah.
So there's when people think of a suppressor, they think of a device that may be 6 to 8 inches in length, maybe longer if it's a rifle suppressor or things like that.
Yeah.
In Hollywood, anytime you see somebody put a suppressor on their non-threaded barrel pistol and somehow rock a suppressor, it's usually a longer device.
Yeah. Hey, real quick.
But there's
real quick. I made the mistake of telling people to DM me if they want to hop into a chat for a particular reason to expand on the subject. I'm streaming my screen. I can't go to my messages to find out what somebody wants to say. Huh?
What about on your phone?
I'm using my phone as my camera.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
So anybody that wants to hop into something like that, message Baker on Discord, and then he'll be able to look at the messages, and then he can relay things, and I can drag you in on a particular topic. Sorry, my bad. Okay. I didn't think it through.
That works.
Yeah.
Let me pull up Discord on my computer again. And then if somebody wants to get drug into the call, then I'll just either let you know, Kennedy, or I'll do it if Discord lets me.
Yeah, you should be able to. You should be able to just
in theory,
click and drag somebody in. Of course, you couldn't get into the room yourself, right?
Yeah, no, I couldn't.
Awesome.
Well, I could get in on my computer, but I couldn't. For whatever reason, there was no audio and the video was crappy. So.
Oh, nice. That's lovely.
Anyways, so going back to a suppressor on Ashley's concealed carry 365.
Yeah.
You can actually, depending on where you get it from, but there's holsters that'll work with suppressors and carry purses, bags, whatever the case may be. There's plenty of them that work with hold on, I just got a message. And of course, on my phone. See if I can pull this up on.
Baker's even worse at reading than he is at using technology.
No, I'm using my phone as my camera.
Ah.
And the messages aren't updating on Discord on my computer.
Mm-hmm.
But I saw Grim just sent me a message.
Nice.
Anyways, let me finish this thought with the suppressors, then I'll
Okay.
check out that message. So Grim,
All right.
if you can hear this, just give me a minute. So there's holsters that work with suppressors, and then for females that maybe carry like on a belly band or in a purse or a bag, or even some guys that have like a fanny pack or things like that.
Yeah.
Depending on the length of the suppressor, it'll work with that item. Particularly, there's one suppressor that is the JK Armament 105 PCX, which is concealed carry system, if I remember correctly, 9mm suppressor. And what it is it's got, I think maybe 6 or 7 different thread-on baffles. So you can, as the user, you can make that suppressor either full length by running all the baffles, or you can take it down to one baffle with the blast chamber and run it. And I think in that configuration, in the smallest configuration, it's about the size of a key fob. Now, obviously, it's not going to be the quietest suppressor in the world. It definitely won't be Hollywood quiet in its shortest configuration.
Right.
But it helps to take out that crack and makes it a little bit more tolerable if you have to take a shot while concealed carry with No Ear Pro on. Right. And then obviously if you add more baffles onto it, then it reduces the sound even more.
True.
And so that is the suppressor that we're looking at getting for a 365. And then, I carry my 365 appendix, and then I'll run whatever length configuration of that suppressor works best for me in that holster with an extra magazine, and then after I have hers available elsewhere. So that's the reason that that we're going to run suppressors on our concealed carry. Or even if it's just a truck gun or something like that, maybe it's not in your holster, it's in between the seats, or you have one of those gun magnets, or whatever the case may be. Mm-hmm. Then you can have a suppressor on your pistol. And if you have to defend yourself while inside of your vehicle, it won't be as harsh in terms of sound as if you were just running it with no can.
You know what? I'm just gonna worry about. I'm just gonna rely on auditory occlusion and just be done with
it. Yeah, that's kind of what I was doing as well. Oh, look at this. Here's a message. Okay. Responding to Grim's message.
Did he say something stupid?
No. He said that he can just text me if other people want to join the call.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, in the future, we'll definitely have to figure out a better way to communicate with people, seeing as how both our phones are tied up and the computer's just not working that well.
Right. Well, one of the things I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to figure out some sort of resolution for this live stream thing. I think it might just be like that time of the night over here where everybody's sitting at the house, everybody's live streaming videos, and just the upload speed just takes a dump. So
yeah, and so for you it's 10:30 p.m. there, and it's 6:30 a.m. here.
Nice.
And so people are just waking up, and so I think that my internet quality is a little bit better.
Yeah.
So there's that. But does that make sense why she wants to run a suppressor on her concealed carry?
No, it still doesn't make sense because she doesn't have one to practice with.
What do you mean she doesn't have one?
So you have to get one. You have to practice your draw, which is ironically the thing that we were working on that day. You have to get one, practice your draw, so that whenever you use your phone hotspot, shut up, it's not going to be any better. So whenever you practice with that particular gun, with that particular suppressor on it, that's the only time that you'll be able to find out if whatever you have, whatever configuration you have, will be useful in concealed carrying something with a can on it. Like me, I got a super short torso, right? So if I were to stick a can on the end of my appendix carry gun, it would look like I'm trying to smuggle like a hog leg down my pants.
Yeah. Well, yeah, obviously we need the suppressor to do it, but that doesn't negate the fact that there's logic to running a suppressor on a concealed carry.
Well, also, Ashley's not a very big person. Me and her are roughly the same size. And if I don't have a lot of space to run a gun with it, of course, she's not going to be carrying. Never mind. I just answered my own question.
Mm-hmm. Yep. I was waiting for you to do that.
Shut up.
I knew at some point things would start going off in there.
Nobody likes you. You're too tall and too ugly. So, I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah. So, we're going to get the suppressors for those, and then I plan on getting a few 5.56 suppressors, also some 45 suppressor, probably just one 45 suppressor, and then of course a 22 suppressor. Now, some of those suppressors have crossed over into other calibers, but I want some dedicated suppressors for some weapon systems, and then I'll probably get some multi-cal suppressors at some point as well.
Gotcha. I gotcha.
Yeah. So, anything else on that before we kind of move on to a new topic within the 2A space?
No. The only thing I'd have to say to add to that is Grim spelling is atrocious. It's almost funnier watching him attempt to spell things inside side chat than it is to actually talk about what he's talking about. He keeps calling Ashley Askley. And then he's telling me that jokes came up a little E short. He just put the E on the little and put it next to the short. Anyway, so suppressors, I don't really have a use for suppressors. So.
Yeah. Hey. But even for you inside your apartment, having a suppressor on whatever dedicated gun you have for your home, that could be beneficial at some point.
It could be.
And then if if your concealed carry is your home defense pistol, and you don't feel like carrying a suppressor, then you just take it off whenever you roll out the house, and when you get back home, throw it back on, and good to go.
True.
So.
And I happened to see a suppressor from John, Lindsay's husband, and he had, it was the exterior of it. It had the stamp on it, the numbers, and then the interior was able to be removed, washed, and modified if you needed to.
Yeah.
So I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah, there's quite a few of them where you can disassemble and obviously clean and take care of, which is actually, because I'm not one, this might be a surprise to you, Kennedy, I'm not one to take care of my firearms.
People will see that whenever they see the video that I shot with the P320s in the gun room.
Oh yeah.
There's a great big close up of the business end of your Glock, and God, it's horrific.
Yeah, it's awesome. But the suppressors, those I will maintain and clean and things like that, just because it's a pass-through device, and that needs a little bit more maintenance than just a Glock or something like that.
Right.
And then also some suppressors work better if it's a wet suppressor versus a dry suppressor, meaning that if you use some type of petroleum-based petroleum-based, whatever you want to call it, you put it on the suppressor, in the baffles, on the threads, things like that, and that helps the sound reduction along with just maintenance later on. And so the concealed carry suppressors by JK, those are wet suppressors. You can run them dry, but it's recommended that you run them wet. So that's part of the maintenance process is you have to reapply that from time to time.
I got you.
Yeah. So since you brought it up, obviously, I guess those 320s and my Glock are maybe the 4 weapons that I forgot to clean before I left.
Mm-hmm.
What did you do with 320s?
So I took the 3 P320s that you have in your safe, along with your beat the crap Glock, and I recreated the test that Wyoming Gun Channel did, or Wyoming Gun Project did, that was highlighted by Angry Cops and a whole bunch of other gun YouTubers. And I recreated that by sticking the screw inside the trigger well and causing the trigger to go to the wall and then just a little bit past it. And then I abused the hell out of the slide, and none of them went off.
Well, that's good.
TLDR.
It probably would have been better for the video if one went off, but it's obviously better since they're guns that get used, that they don't just go off on their own.
Correct. And I have, I think I've done a Kennedy Learns Guns on a couple of those.
I think you did a Kennedy Learns Guns, and it may have even been the first one on the SIG P320 AXP Scorpion. I don't remember if it was the first one but you've done one there.
Yeah.
And so I guess, we can kind of talk about the whole SIG fiasco while we're here.
True.
If you don't know, not so much you, because obviously because we've talked about this.
Yeah.
But those watching, if you don't know, SIG launched a new pistol several years ago. The SIG P320 is what they called it, which was when the Army, the military, was asking for a replacement pistol to replace the M9 9mm.
Mm-hmm.
So then manufacturers submitted their version of what the military might want. And so you had Glock, which submitted the Glock 19X, which is the pistol that I shoot the most and is completely beat up.
Yeah.
FN submitted, I think it was the FN 509 that they submitted. And then SIG created and then submitted the P320, mm-hmm. which that variant is known as the M17 M18.
Right.
And then you had some other manufacturers that submitted. When it all came down to it, the main manufacturers that were in the running for consideration were FN, Glock, and SIG.
Right.
When it was all said and done, SIG was awarded the contract for the P320, which the military version is the M17 M18. The M17 M18 has exterior selector switch with safety on it, but most P320s, none of the P320s that I have a safety on it, which is how I prefer my pistols anyway.
True.
But it doesn't even have a trigger safety, which is kind of unique. Most striker fire pistols have a trigger safety. That one doesn't. And of course, because they won the military contract, it became a very popular pistol. And I enjoy shooting the 320s that I have, 3 of them. And I've been very pleased with them. I've enjoyed shooting them. As a matter of fact, the one that you did the Kennedy Learns Guns on, the AXP, is one of my favorite shooting pistols. That's just a very smooth shooting pistol. Mm-hmm. But there were some rumors circulating that there was an issue with the SIG P320 where under the right conditions and circumstances, the pistol could go off by itself, which is not what you want.
I mean,
yeah.
I was about to make a really bad joke. Never mind.
Yeah, we'll avoid some of those jokes.
Damn it.
Yeah. And so, there's that old saying that guns don't kill people, people kill people. Well, it seems that
it's not maybe true.
Yeah. Now, there's been several cases where a gun, a P320, went off on its own without any type of press by the person holding the pistol, or the officer, military member, whoever's got that pistol.
Right.
Whether the pistol goes off on a table, whether it goes off in a holster, if it gets dropped, whatever the case may be.
Right.
There's been some times where that pistol has been known to go off. Some of it has been more speculation than exact fact because maybe there was just one person who was there when it went off, and maybe they're telling the truth, maybe they're not. Who knows? There's been a few issues where on a range during training or things like that, a 320 went off on its own during holstering. And there's been some speculation that maybe for a brief second, the shooter, while holstering, somehow got their finger into the trigger guard while it was going into the holster, made contact with that trigger, and it went off. So it's not like the pistol necessarily just went off by itself. Right. There was, in fact, a trigger press. Again, though, that's just speculation because sometimes people won't own up to a negligent discharge. Right. Or maybe they just didn't realize that's what they did and just assumed the pistol went off on their own. But then there's also been several instances that were caught on video, usually law enforcement, because there's cameras all over the place, or body cameras, things like that. Mm-hmm. And there was one video in particular, and I can't remember where it came out of, where there were several officers that were dealing with an individual, and it was a video capture from like a wall mount surveillance camera. And as one of the officers was jostling around that individual, there appeared to be no contact with the pistol in the holster other than some body presses up against the frame of the pistol, mm-hmm. and then that pistol went off in the holster. Right. And obviously not something you want to have happen. And it seems that a lot of these failures with the P320 happen with law enforcement versus military. And I think the reason for that is because law enforcement, I mean, law enforcement, when you're on the job, you're always loaded. You're always carrying a gun. And then even when you're not on the job, you're carrying a gun. Yeah. And oftentimes it's your duty weapon that you're carrying, whether it's open carry or concealed carry. And so you have a loaded firearm more than military personnel, because a lot of military personnel, they don't have a loaded firearm that often. Even when they're out training, it's not necessarily loaded. Right. The only time it's really loaded is when they're at the range. They have a lot less time with that pistol loaded than law enforcement. And so because of the popularity within the military picking up the contract, and then law enforcement going with the P320, and then civilians picking it up, there's been a lot of trigger time going on with the P320 and a lot of manipulation and whatnot. So there seems to be some issues with it. More so, the current case for the airman was shot and killed with his own pistol.
Apparently, from what I heard, he took the firearm in the holster, took the whole thing off his belt, set it on the table in front of him, sat down in front of the business end of the firearm, and the firearm goes off while still inside the holster.
Yeah. Yep. That's what the report says, which is unfortunate for him. And, I've heard some people say, oh, well, why did he sit in front of a loaded pistol? It's in a holster, At that point in time, yes, I treat every weapon as though it's loaded, and it is loaded. But you as a user expect that when you have a pistol that is holstered, it is in its safest configuration while being loaded, mm-hmm. because it's in a device that's meant to hold a pistol without that pistol going off. Right. Unfortunately, the pistol went off. Right. And so, I think SIG probably knows what's really going on. I would imagine SIG has done quite a bit of testing on this.
I can actually give you an idea of what SIG is doing.
Yeah. They're backing up from a table and leaving.
They're spinning.
That's what SIG's doing.
They're putting spin on it. They're doing this.
Yeah. Yeah, they're definitely doing that. For sure. And so I have no doubt they've done their fair amount of testing with that. And so out of everyone, they probably have the most reliable and accurate information as to what's going on and if there is a legitimate issue with it.
Yeah.
What they do with that information is completely on them. Hopefully, if there is a known problem on their end, they will immediately address it and fix it. but they've kind of been blaming everyone else. The end users is who they've been blaming
Right.
for weapons going off.
And
if it's a legitimate...
They've gotten a little bit spicy with blaming the end users by claiming that all of the people criticizing them are anti-2A grifters that are going after
pretty wild.
manufacturers.
It's and there have been some people who have called SIG out, and if there is a legitimate issue with that firearm, SIG needs to be called out 100%. But then I think there's also people who jump on this SIG bad bandwagon because that's the cool thing to do. And there's been quite a few companies, agencies, and even military organizations that have dropped the use of the SIG right now until further investigation is done, which I get makes sense, until you get all the information. Since there is a possibility that that pistol can go off by itself, you don't want to use it. I get it. That makes sense. From my experience with the P320, and even just that little bit of testing that you did with the 320s, to me, I don't plan on throwing my 320s in the trash. One, because that'd be a felony, and two, because I'm not Hunter Biden.
True.
But I've got money tied up in them, and I enjoy shooting them. But hopefully, the information comes out soon, and these agencies can get the testing done and realize what the problem is. I'll be curious to know if there is a failure. I suspect that there is, but I don't necessarily think that it's every single pistol. But who knows?
True.
Yeah. What about, let's see, does anyone in the comment section or who is watching this video right now, does anybody here have a 320, and do you plan on either shelving it or continuing to use it? Question thrown out to people watching. I know quite a few people.
That's going to take a couple of minutes for them to hear it and then type a response.
Yeah, and then type it out. I know quite a few people who conceal carry or everyday carry a P320, and they don't plan on going away from it. I don't carry a 320 concealed. Usually it's my 365, which obviously is a SIG product, but the 365 doesn't have any of those known or possible issues with it just going off on its own.
Right.
And so, yeah. So that's what's going on with the SIG P320. That's the whole crazy chaos going there. Oops, got a message from Graham. Let me check that out. He may have actually sent me one a while ago.
He's been getting some messages in side chat too on the YouTube.
Grim, see if you can drag Grim into the chat.
Do we really want to? Because then he'll like get in here and start talking.
He said, "Beam me up, Scotty."
All right, here we go. Do 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 do. You are unmuted, Grim.
Hello.
Hello.
Thankfully, he didn't.
Sorry, I had to.
Stupid Iron Man intro song. Don't do that. I will mute you. I swear to God, I'll mute you.
You would have to. You would have to, because it would be copyright. It's too long.
Okay, good deal. All right.
Yeah. No, I sent that right whenever you made the comment about somebody in side chat or comment section and the P320. So that's how delayed you are, just so you know.
Yeah.
Wow.
No, so I didn't own one, but I was selling a bunch when I was working at the gun store down the road, and I had a bunch of people come back and try to return them and some other stuff. So I was talking to them. This was before it was like public knowledge that they were like going off. They were saying like they were at the range and they set it on the counter and it was going off, and they were having issues even cleaning it. They would have the pin drop on them while they're cleaning it, stuff like that. I'm like, okay. So I started looking more and more into it. I'm not one of those ones that jump straight to, SIG bad.
Yeah.
But I'm also not one that's like, well, nobody can do no wrong.
Right.
I won't be buying one until they own it, just out of pure principle, because the company's sitting there turning around and saying, hey, it's not our fault. It's not our fault. It's your fault. You're an idiot, not me. Now, I've sworn off SIG until they fix their PR on that one. You know, not everybody that calls you out for something wrong with one of your weapons is the enemy. They could be just helping you out here.
So you're going in that direction. I'm going in the opposite direction. I'm actually going to be selling everything I have and purchasing only P320s from now on out. I'm actually going to be purchasing extra P320s to replace everything I have. One of them's going up underneath my pillow. One of them's going to be mounted on the wall directly facing my head. Because you know what?
So you're just going with the SIG retirement plan then?
Yeah. I've got good luck. I know nothing's going to happen because I'm Kennedy, right? You know? What?
Yeah.
I've made it
no
this far.
Kennedys. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, out of the 10-foot tall and bulletproof, you got about half of that down.
I am taller than 5 foot. So,
I said 10 foot.
Yeah, half of that. You said half of that.
Yeah. You got about half of that down. Yeah.
I'm taller than 5 foot.
All right, fine. I'll give you 3/4. No. But yeah, no. I don't know. I'm not against the whole SIG as altogether as far as their weapons, but the P320, I'm just not gonna trust it. I won't buy one. If someone's got it around, I'm gonna be a little wary until I know that they have good weapons discipline and don't point it in a direction they shouldn't be pointing, especially if the magazine's inserted.
Mm-hmm.
Just like in the case of the airman, and I said in the comments, the airman should not have been flagging himself or any of his people inside the building. The Air Force has to take accountability on that one. Their training needs to be better understood for them, that it should be treated as a loaded weapon even when it's not.
Yeah, but that's unrealistic, right? Because if you have a holster on your belt, well then going by that logic, that means you can never stand right next to somebody, because that gun in that holster is pointing at somebody's foot, right?
Well, that's why you have a bubble.
Sometimes you don't have a bubble, so
well then give yourself a bubble.
Sometimes you can't have a bubble. What if you're in a stack, right? What if you're standing next to somebody in an elevator? The point is, whenever a firearm is in a holster and you have no access to the trigger, you should be able to rely on that thing to not go off. This is not a situation where P320s and a whole bunch of other guns are going off. So therefore, this is a bad firearm. You shouldn't treat all other firearms as if they are also equally crappy. And you can take a gun inside a holster and have it resting on a shelf right next to your head. And if that gun goes off, that's not your fault. That's not your holster's fault, at least if the holster's functioning properly.
Yeah.
That's the firearm's fault, right?
Yeah.
No, agreed. We're on the same page with that. I'm not saying that P320s...
You're also laying a little bit of blame, maybe not on the airmen, but on the Air Force by not having that strictly enforced in their procedure. I'm saying that's not something that anybody would ever realistically worry about, because you can't touch a trigger. You're good to go. If something happens like that, that is a freak accident. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, I can see that point too.
I would agree with that viewpoint.
Which one? I want to score points. Say the name of who you're
with yours. John Kennedy. Also, you can go and pay me my money through PayPal.
I will. That's in the
whenever
back.
you get a chance.
I already sent it to you.
Okay. Thank you. No more wooden nickels, though. I can't spend those.
That's
you're just out supporting all pennies now.
Yeah.
But no, I would definitely agree with that viewpoint that Kennedy made, and that's something that one of the first considerations that I had when this came out is ideally, and even in the comment section, Redacted Defense made the comment, still proper firearms training. Say what?
That's me.
Yeah. I'll just give you a little shout out. Again, you can pay me my money through PayPal.
Okay. I will make sure you use some pennies.
Okay, thank you. That's very kind. Still proper firearms training is never point a loaded weapon at anything you don't intend to destroy, which 100% I agree with. Unfortunately, as Kennedy said, that's not always realistic, especially with a holstered pistol. because there's times where that pistol does get pointed at other people or things. For instance, this was more common if you had like a thigh rig,
Right.
which is where the holster is attached to your thigh. And if you're sitting in like an armored vehicle or some type of motorized transport, and you've got people sitting right across from each other, those pistols are pointing at each other because of how they're on the body. If you just have like a drop down rig where it stays on your waist, and it's pointing towards the feet, yeah, that helps to reduce that. And it seems like more and more people, myself included, are going to some type of drop down rig versus like a thigh rig. But then another situation is, and I've done this, I don't know how many times, but taking off my battle belt or my duty belt, and it goes into the trunk of my vehicle or onto a desk or whatever the case may be.
I put mine in the dryer.
Then that muzzle.
Guilty of that too.
Yeah, sometimes the dryer, not the washer, because
I didn't say the dryer. I meant the duty route on like the counter or I've never put my weapon in the dryer. Just specifying that right now.
Well, I mean, sometimes those are fun noises.
Whenever you watch your dryer bouncing across the linoleum.
Yeah.
As long as it's all you're watching, you're not watching it become Swiss-made appliances.
But yeah, there's definitely times where that pistol will get pointed in directions that you wouldn't necessarily point a pistol out of the holster, but you have reason to believe that since it is in the holster and the trigger is protected, it won't go off. And that's where I think this airman, even though I don't know all the facts on it, because all the facts really haven't been released on it because the investigation is still ongoing, but I think that's probably the assumption that this airman had is it's in the holster, I take it off, nothing will happen. And then unfortunately something.
Fair.
So, yeah. And there's been some speculation as to maybe there's been debris that has been somehow wedged into the trigger guard or the trigger mechanism itself. And then when it gets holstered, that trigger is slightly depressed. And then when some type of pressure gets applied to the frame or the slide or a combination of both, then that's what's causing those pistols to go off, especially since they don't have a trigger safety. But who knows? It would be interesting to know how that airman's pistol went off, because the military variants have a selector switch on it. So if it was on safe, how did it go off?
True.
So it'd be interesting to read more on that information when that comes up.
That kind of leads into what I was saying, though, about the whole proper discipline and proper training with them, though. So.
Yeah. I'll be the first to admit the military definitely needs, as a whole, the military definitely needs more training, especially on the pistol, because it's not their primary carry weapon. And then law enforcement also needs more training, especially on pistols, because more times than not, it is their primary carry weapon, unless you're on like a SWAT team or something like that. Mm-hmm. And so I would absolutely agree. Training is very important there, and they can always use more of it.
Agreed. And that's not
but you don't have a 320
either. No, I don't. No, I thought about getting one, and I almost bought the 365 instead before I went and got the one that I ended up getting. That I now ended up trading for the Beretta that Kennedy got to play with when he was out here once.
I did.
Yeah, I've heard good things about those Berettas.
I hate them.
Oh yeah.
You hate Beretta as a whole, Kennedy, or just the M9?
Just the M9s.
Yeah.
The M9s and what would they call the PX4 Storm? You ever seen those? They have so many controls right next to the grippy part of your firearm, right next to they have the safety selector switch actually on the slide itself. So whenever you go to grab that thing, it's a terrible grip on it, and it hurts my little soft hands. I don't like it.
Well, you didn't mind mine too much, did you? It was the A1 carry.
Well, that's fine. Just the Berettas and the PX4 Storm are garbage. I hate them.
Yeah, I have as before. I have a 365. That's what I tend to carry. I also have a Hellcat, and the Hellcat's a good shooting pistol. I just prefer the 365. I find it to be more comfortable.
I was torn between when I was gonna when I was looking at them for the first time to buy them, I was torn between the 365 and the Smith & Wesson CSX. Those were the two I was stuck between. I liked both of them.
Right.
Yeah. And there's a lot of great options for concealed carry pistol.
Yeah.
Even the FN Reflex. Reflex, I think is what they call that. That's a good option. High point, you can't go wrong with a high point.
Nope. Can't go wrong.
Which I'm actually, out of every pistol ever manufactured, if there was ever one to just go off by itself, I would have put every penny I have
right
on it being a high point.
Would have bet the house on a high point. Nope.
Yep.
No, Sig's got to prove us wrong over here. You know, multiple government contracts, law enforcement contracts.
Yeah.
Just had to put a high point in its place.
I would not have guessed that. Yeah.
I still haven't, Kennedy. I still haven't gotten that round out of that 22 either. It's still stuck in there.
I believe it.
I can't get it. It's lodged. I'm gonna have to send the barrel out or something.
You can't.
What is it?
It's a 1022.
Yeah, not by Ruger though. It's one of those little. Since they lost the patent rights to it last year, the multiple companies that came out with it. I think it's the.
Is it the high point version?
Yeah, it might as well be. No, I think it's made by Sig.
Oh well, there we go.
his daughter was shooting it, and whenever she went to shoot, all of a sudden she was like, "Ow! Something hit me on my hand on the right hand side." So we looked at it, and the lip of the 22 that the firing
casing?
Little clasp thing hits on a rimfire 22.
Rimfire, yeah.
The rim of the case exploded, and it threw brass all over the place outside of the chamber, and so now the whole bullet and the brass case is lodged into the chamber itself.
It shoved, so instead of ejecting the brass casing that was in there, it shoved the next round through the back of the rimfire shell casing and lodged the lead projectile in the brass casing in the barrel.
Yeah.
Wow.
So you're going to have to get
it's like a 1 in a million shot.
A dead blow hammer and a vise and just beat the hell out of it.
Now I got to get what I got to get is I got to get a saw. I got to cut that section of the barrel.
Like the 249?
The long way in half, though, yeah. So I also cut the round without losing it. Yeah, and then I got to put it in plexiglass.
Uh-huh.
And I'm going to frame it in my den. That way my daughter always remembers this is what could go wrong.
So when you said saw, I immediately envisioned the M249 machine gun. And I thought that you were going to clear a gun with a gun. And I was like, yeah, that's awesome.
That's what I was thinking.
That would be proper.
Ashley is asking,
pistol brace thing.
What's the update on the pistol brace thingy? Am I going to have to take it off my unicorn?
Great question, and I'm glad that he brought that up because that's something that we glossed over. So for people that don't know, with rifles, the legal length, the minimal legal length of a rifle barrel has to be 16 inches. Why? Because it's an arbitrary number that the government decided to go with in 1934 when they did the NFA. Mm-hmm. So if you want to have a rifle that has a barrel of under 16 inches, then it is considered a SBR, a short barrel rifle, and you have to petition the government, get a tax stamp, pay $200, and then register that SBR through the ATF as an SBR.
Mm-hmm. Which currently there's no tax stamp for, correct?
No. Well, actually, technically there is, because the tax, the new $0 tax, won't take effect until January of next year. So technically there is still a tax stamp.
So you technically don't have a felony right now because no one knows about it, but hold on to it till January.
And as long as you don't tell anybody, they never will know.
Because there's no crime without a body.
Yeah. And
I don't know what
luckily,
you're talking about. I bought this in January.
luckily our channel is struggling, so nobody will probably ever watch this video. So
Only the 7 people.
you're safe.
Only the 7
Yeah.
people will know, and they're all good people.
We
And
definitely
so,
don't have the felony chest ourselves.
That's right.
yeah. And if I remember correctly off the top of my head, I think in 2012, there was the creation of what's known as a pistol brace, which is not a buttstock, but a brace that fits onto the buffer tube of an AR and is designed to attach to the forearm. And since it is not a stock, it is a brace, you can use a brace on any length barrel, but especially something that is under 16 inches.
Because any of those are considered pistols, not rifles.
Exactly. Yep. As if it doesn't have a stock on it, so let's say you have an AR-15 that has an 8-inch barrel on it, and it's manufactured as a pistol, and it does not have a stock on it, then it is classified as a pistol, not a rifle, because it doesn't have that stock, whether it's a fixed stock or a collapsible stock or adjustable. And so when you have something that is classified as a pistol, then you can run a brace on it. And by using a brace, you don't need to petition the government to register that weapon system as a SBR, because it is not a rifle. And so therefore, the short barrel isn't applicable to it.
Because you were technically incapable of shouldering said weapon, because it does not have a tube for you to shoulder, according to the ATF.
Yeah, and the ATF has gone back and forth on whether you can shoulder a braced weapon or you can't. And most recently, the ATF, before the administration change, most recently the ATF was going back to the idea that you cannot shoulder fire a braced weapon. Whereas previously, the ATF said that you can, it's not a big deal, and the government, more or less, the government can't tell you how to fire a weapon. So if you have a braced weapon that is legal and you decide to shoulder fire it, that's okay. Of course, the ATF is known for operating in the gray area, and they like to just make things up. I know, surprise, shocker.
Is the gray area where they shoot the dog?
No, usually they do that right in front of you. Yeah, they just want you to know that.
Okay.
Yeah. And so
what's that little lassie? Timmy's stuck in the well.
In 2023, the ATF had a rule change, which is really the way they call it a rule, but it's more or less the law, because if you break it, you're going to be penalized for it. Yeah. But they had a rule change that would then regulate pistol braces. And you either had to destroy your pistol brace or you had to register your pistol brace with the ATF. If you didn't do one of those two things, then you weren't in compliance with the new rule and you'd be prosecuted on it. So at that point in time, for 10 plus years, the ATF said that pistol braces are legal. You don't need to register them. You can shoulder fire them. You can do whatever you want to with the brace in terms of having it on a pistol or anything like that. And then pretty much overnight, the ATF got the bright idea to, well, let's control this item and turn it into a regulated item, which would make millions of Americans felons if that rule took effect. Thankfully, there was a few stays implemented by judges that prevented the ATF from taking enforcement action on that. And then that happened, I think, if I remember correctly, sometime in 23, where the ATF wasn't legally allowed to enforce that rule. And so you had this long period of legal battles between Pro-2A groups and the government trying to get that rule to be done with. And for the longest time, the ATF was full steam ahead of trying to get it to the point where that rule could be enforceable. Just recently, I think within the last month, if I remember correctly, DOJ completely dropped their argument for that rule, and the pistol brace rule is effectively dead right now. Of course, that's under this current administration. If SBRs stay on the NFA, then under a new administration, there's the potential for that brace rule to come back. That's why it all goes back to these items need to be removed from the NFA. That is the ultimate form of protection, is removing SBRs and suppressors from the NFA. That way they can't be regulated later on.
If it's under and the pistol brace rule, if they labeled it pistol brace, they covered the topics of shouldering, non-shouldering, all the different formats of fire, and what classifies officially as a attachment like that, like a shoulder brace or an arm brace, a shouldering device, whatever the case may be. If they covered all the terminology and then the courts, due to the person dropping the lawsuit, they would fall back to the previous ruling, which would be in favor of, I'm assuming, which means that technically it's already been tried, which means it shouldn't be able to go back to court again.
Yeah, no, I agree, absolutely. Technically, it shouldn't.
They'd have to come up with brand new terminology to take it back.
Yeah, and so where that would have to happen is, let's say we get a brand new administration that's very anti-Second Amendment, and they decide to hammer down on braces. And let's say SBRs and suppressors aren't removed from the NFA, they stay on the NFA. So then they would have to, in order to successfully bring back a ban on braces or try to bring that back, there would have to be some type of legislation that would be put forth, passed, and then signed into law banning those. Or they would have to
Congress, because they wouldn't have a judicial outpour about it anymore.
Yeah, or, and I don't know 100% on this, but there's also a possibility that in the ATF proposal was a rule, not a law. All they would have to do is rewrite the rule and change the verbiage, and then say, here's the new rule. And technically, it would be something different, and it would have to go through all those processes again.
Just like they tried to do for a weapon conversion device, they may be able to say that it's no longer an arm brace, it's a short barrel rifle weapon conversion kit or something like that. Not giving them ideas here, but...
Yeah. Again, thankfully, no one listens to this channel, so we're safe.
Well, they tried to do the same thing with FRTs, too.
Yeah. Yeah, that they did. And as of right now, FRTs, for those who don't know, force reset trigger, FRTs are back on the table in terms of people being able to purchase them and install them on their weapons. And for those people who are watching that don't know exactly what an FRT is, an FRT, the classification of a machine gun is that a gun can fire multiple rounds with one trigger press, whether it's 2, 3, 10, 15, infinity rounds with one trigger press. Semi-automatic, obviously, is each press of the trigger, it fires one round. And so what the government was arguing is that an FRT, same thing with a bump stock, an FRT and or a bump stock turn a weapon into a machine gun. By definition, though, they don't, because you still have to press the trigger each time in order to cause that weapon to fire. But because of those mechanisms, an FRT or a bump stock, it aids the shooter in pressing that trigger. And because of that, the weapon fires quicker versus you just individually pressing the trigger. Yeah. But it is still technically, by definition, a semi-automatic and not a machine gun. But FRTs are back on the table, which I don't have an FRT. I might look at getting one at some point just to mess with it. But
I will probably have one the next time you guys are up this way, because I'm planning on buying one next month.
Nice. Yeah, I thought it would be fun to do a 22 long rifle build with an FRT and just dump 22 like it's going out of style.
Yeah, that's why I was thinking about it, because I can get one of those little 22 ARs down the road for like $400 and like $300 during Christmas.
Yeah, and then ammunition's super cheap.
Yeah, as long as I don't get another dud ammo around like that, I don't want to saw another 22 barrel in half.
Right. And you only got one daughter, so. Wait.
Yeah. So
no, I have two.
You have two. Okay, so you got a backup. Yeah, you're good to go.
Yeah, I got a spare. I'm good. And then I've got a son too.
Well,
just kidding. I wouldn't do it to my kids.
I know it is getting late for you guys on your end. It's 11 Central, midnight for you, Grim. I don't want to give your exact location, but you are somewhere in California.
Yes.
Yes, California.
So we can go ahead and start winding this down. Is there anything,
We've had
Kennedy, that you want before we get into NOOB? Yeah, go ahead.
We've had Cat sitting in the wings. He said he was working on setting up chapters in his video. So I don't know if he even wants to talk. Okay. But yeah, so he's been
I can message and find out. Hang on.
Yeah. If Cat wants to jump in real quick, we'll get him in the call. I need to get a little bit more coffee because, coffee is life.
Yeah.
So I will be right back.
Okay.
And I'm good as far as what you were talking about. I literally cracked an energy drink like 10 minutes ago before I jumped up here. So
gotcha.
I'm golden.
Well then, why don't you sound like you cracked an energy? You sound tired.
Because I've had a very exhausting day, dude. I finally signed on my house.
You said
I'm good to go.
Cracked an energy drink.
Yeah, I cracked it. I haven't finished it yet.
You know what? This is an entertainment video, Grim. You need to.
Are you not entertained?
You need to ramp things up there, buddy. Didn't you see me? I was sitting over here spinning in my chair and pointing at my cat.
No, I didn't see you spinning in your chair. What I saw was you lagging out, and I saw you facing one way, and then another, and then another, and then another. It looked like you were drawing a pentagram on the screen.
Okay. So Cat said that he's about to go to bed.
Okay. Good night, Cat.
Later, man. Appreciate you hanging out with us, providing a concurrent reviewer. That's super appreciated, man. Appreciate it. If look for the Lever Monkey on YouTube. That's Cat's channel. And we have Grim here. He has the Foxhole Files podcast. Look for that.
You were a recent participant on.
I was.
That episode will be coming out probably the end of the month, this month.
Nice.
I thought it was already out.
We appreciate you.
No, that was the one where you two were on that one with the Discord call.
Oh, okay.
That's the one where you and the gentleman from TikTok, you were both on that one at the same time.
TikTok history teacher, I think.
Yes, the TikTok history teacher.
Yeah. So I don't know if you saw that, Baker, but me and you, the video the podcast that we did with Grim, that's got like 15,000 views on it.
Wow.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's wild.
Off, man.
Yeah. It got a little crazy.
Well, if you ever want to have us back on the podcast, Grim, I'll go ahead and give you the contact information for our agent, and then you can work all the details through him. Because obviously,
if you're
we're big 3 times.
If you're doing enough sales in whatever you got advertisers for, then we'll consider hopping back on.
Okay.
And I don't want to get paid in limes anymore.
No.
If you watch It's Always Sunny, then you'll understand that reference.
It's got to be limes actually inside a margarita.
The best I can do is a Virgarita for you. Sans lime.
Well, then that's
still
just
flavored
tequila.
No, Virgarita, meaning just a coconut.
Yeah.
In other words, it's frozen coconut milk.
I'm good with coconut.
Which is the best way to have coconut milk.
Yeah.
Yes.
From the tap.
I tend to agree with that. Yeah.
Well,
your thing said NFA news, which we went over. Politicians be crazy. I didn't know if we covered that part or not.
That was a Chris Murphy.
Okay.
Yeah, and that was him just going off the deep end, trying to impose that tax. Which the good thing with him doing that, it shows what their intent is, which we all knew what their intent is, but it absolutely shows.
Yeah, it's just crazy it happened so quickly. That's the thing that's throwing me off. Like, I get it, but it's not a surprise. What's surprising is just how ballsy they've gotten with blatancy in your face right now. Like,
I was fully.
It wasn't even dry.
Yeah, I was fully expecting someone to adjust for inflation and re-propose the NFA tax. I was not expecting it to be that quickly. I thought for sure it would be several years if those items remain on the NFA.
Yeah.
But nope. I guess he
fast.
wanted to get some attention, and he did.
He got it.
Yeah.
Did you, speaking of politicians being crazy, I know it's not normal for your channel, but did you see the RFK announcement about the phallic-shaped objects in WNBA?
Oh.
I didn't see that.
Yeah, the AI one.
No, where he actually stood up and made a speech about the WNBA and him not giving a crap about the phallic objects on the field, and I can send it to you later. Just remind me to send it to you later.
I thought that one was AI, but I don't know. Maybe not. If
it was AI, it was really, really good deepfake AI. Like really good. It fooled me then.
But I think the one I'm thinking of, I'm pretty sure was AI. But again, it's difficult to tell, which is scary.
Yeah.
There's no way that WNBA can be made any more interesting, even if somebody is throwing pieces of foam rubber onto the court. And so I don't have. It's funny to scroll through on Twitter and go, huh? And then that's about it.
There was one that actually got my attention because it was, okay, you can buy a ticket to a WNBA game close enough to the court to be able to throw one of those objects for $250.
Yeah.
And there is a group of individuals that are just so addicted to sports betting to the point where they're betting on the next color that will be thrown out there. So if I buy a ticket for $250 and then I bet $5,000 the next color is going to be blue. Mm-hmm. You bet $5,000 the next color is going to be blue, Baker. And then Kennedy, you bet $5,000 the next color is going to be blue.
5,000.
No, hear me out. 5,000, okay?
I see where this is going, dude.
It'll pay out because that'll be 3 people betting on that color. We already know the outcome for sure. And the payout odds with all the people betting would make that $70,000 as a payout for every $5,000 bet on the right color.
Oh, there you go.
So you would get 70,000, Baker gets 70,000, and I get 70,000. All for a $250 ticket to the WNBA, a few hours of my time, and a $14.99 blue dildo.
So I mean, we'd each get $70,000, but we'd lose this video.
I think you'd make more on the bet, honestly.
Yeah. And also, it would be entertaining if you got hemmed up in security with that.
It would be. Because you're talking about...
It cost me a couple nights in jail, dude. Like, I'll take the 2-night vacation. I'm good with it.
They're talking about removing people's ability to come in with backpacks. So if you don't have a backpack...
Okay, I may need to borrow your skills there, Baker.
You don't have the ability to deploy the fake thing away. And then we're out $5,000 each.
Or...
I don't know. It's $70,000. What are you willing to do for $70,000?
You're looking at
it. See, I know where a lot of people's minds went with that one. I was talking about replacing, like putting it in my pants, and that would be my simulated one. I don't know what you were thinking. Like, if you were thinking about shoving it up your rear end or whatever, that's on you.
Yeah. Now, I'm kind of surprised that nobody's tried to incorporate the concept of flip bottle with the penis-shaped object. If they could actually toss it and manage to stick it to the ground with the suction cup, that would be amazing.
Even better is they landed it just at the right time when one of those women fell down after trying to do a layup or something like that, and it landed right between their legs in just the right direction. Like, that would be a win-all spot on Monopoly or something like that.
They would never beat that allegation either.
These are interesting times we live in, because normally when you have large venues that start banning bags or backpacks or things like that, it's a safety concern because people might try and bring in knives or a gun or another weapon. Yeah. I never thought that it would be caused by a rubber dong. That's why you cannot bring in a backpack, is there are too many rubber dongs coming in.
There are too many rubber dongs.
I would never guess that.
They're gonna be so focused on the rubber dongs, they're gonna miss somebody walking in with a P320 on their side.
Yeah, probably.
You won't miss it for long.
No, yeah, you'll know it's there.
I think that gun has missed less than their layups.
Well,
actually
that was
saw
an entertaining little segment.
I saw a tweet about
tweet?
the guy that got arrested for Caden Lopez, 18-year-old, was arrested at the Phoenix Mercury game.
Oh yeah, for bringing one in
for the dildo, yeah, for the phallic-shaped object,
yeah.
He was detained for a rubber dildo.
Yeah.
Yep.
And that's what it looks like.
Interesting times.
Well, here's what I was thinking with that too. Like, if somebody were to do that whole thing I just talked about, and then you did get arrested and went to jail, normally, you go to jail and you're like, I'm in here for like a 2-nighter because X, Y, Z. You know how the jail side, the inmates get with stuff like that. It's like, this guy's we got to beat up on him. They're going to be sitting there asking you for pointers on how to make money when they get out of there.
Yep.
Like, you're not going to have a single problem those 2 nights you're in there.
Yep. They're going to be asking you to sign their phallic-shaped object.
Are you updating NOOB again?
Say again?
Are you updating NOOB again, or is it the same changes you talked to me about, Kennedy?
Same changes.
Okay.
Yeah.
What are those changes?
We can go ahead and segue into the last part, NOOB updates, if you want to get into that, Kennedy.
Sure. So, at the beginning of the live stream, at the point in time where we did not have 7 people watching us, we only had 2, maybe 1. I think I was the only one. I already went over.
Also, just so you know, I just recently purchased 7 computers. So,
well, why aren't you running all 7 then? Because one of these is me, one of them is Kennedy.
Yeah, exactly.
The other one is you. So there's 3 out of the 7.
So our NOOB game, just on the off chance that you don't know what it is a basketball game of horse that we adapted to a range-based shooting game. You shoot at a certain distance doing a certain thing in a certain stance or at a certain particular challenge. If you make it, the other person that you're shooting against or other persons has to then make the shot at using those same qualifications in order to not get a letter. If they miss, they have a chance at a redemption shot. If they miss the redemption shot, they then get a letter, much like the basketball game of horse. So we started off with steel targets because that's what we had. Then Baker had the bright idea. He's like, hey, some people might be fairies and allergic to metal. And I was like, well, what about people on ranges, Baker? And he's like, oh yeah, those people too might not have access to steel targets. So he set up an agreement with Medusa Targets over in Shreveport, Louisiana. A good 4, 5, 6 hours north of us. And we got some paper targets with our particular steel targets represented on the paper targets. We have an all-together target that has all the target points on it. And we have 3 sets of targets that have 2 of the targets on one, 2 of the targets on another, and the main silhouette on the third. So you can space out your targets. And so what we are doing is you're currently rewriting, or Baker's rewriting, the steel target challenges for paper targets. And we're going to be adding the ability for somebody to scan a QR code and find the particular challenge online for the challenge you're about to play. And we're looking to link stuff together and get this out to actual shooting ranges so that other people can play the game of NOOB, even though they don't have 40 acres, a mule, a wife, 17 cats, and a tractor.
Forgot about the brush hog.
That's
You
on the
gotta have
tractor.
a target.
That's on the
Yeah.
tractor. I figured you didn't need it specifically. You know what I'm saying?
No, but not everybody has that implement of destruction.
Well, those are also things you might need.
Yeah. So it's been a process redoing all the NOOB stuff. But as Candy mentioned, one of the big changes that we're doing with this is dedicated demonstration videos for each challenge, or all the modifications to that particular challenge. And then on each challenge form, there will be a QR code that you can just simply scan. It'll take you right to that particular demonstration video that's applicable to that challenge. You can quickly watch that, get a concept of the challenge, because some of these challenges, and Kennedy's read all of the new rewrite versions, some of these challenges are very complex, just the way they're laid out. If you've got movement and tourniquet application, all these different things, it can be challenging to visualize what needs to happen for that challenge by just reading the text. So if you can watch a video, demonstration video,
of a particular challenge that we have, one of them is called Immediately Screwed, and it deals with there being a failure to feed or failure to extract on a firearm. So the initial challenge itself is just you shoot, you hear a click, tap, rack, and clear the chamber, get back into the game, and put a round on target. Now, imagine adding not just one magazine, now doing that with 3 magazines. And then imagine doing that not just with 3 magazines, but with a decreased time limit. Now imagine doing that with 3 magazines, a decreased time limit, and increasing distance. Now imagine doing it with 3 magazines, increased time, all the other stuff that I said, and now you're having to shoot targets in a particular order along with an additional time. So having a video to watch would go a long way towards clearing things.
Yeah.
And for those
well, and then
that are
just to piggyback off that,
the
Kennedy,
other
imagine everything you just said, and then only being able to do it with your strong hand. I don't remember the name of that challenge. I think One Handy Andy is the name of that one.
No,
where you have to do all of that.
That's one of the guys you work with. We're talking about strong, only the strong.
No, One Handy Andy, he's not with us anymore. Now we have One Leggy Peggy.
fitting with the WNBA. No, I can confirm too that the challenges that they're talking about, for anybody that does think that they're easy, they're sitting there looking at it saying, "Oh yeah, I can do that. That's not hard." It's a lot harder than it looks. It's a lot harder than it sounds.
Everybody,
I thought it was going to be pretty easy too, because I got experience. Kennedy can vehemently attest to my extremely crappy performance at those challenges. Extraordinarily crappy.
Whenever you were done shooting, you now saw that you had this one particular thing for one particular challenge that you needed to work on. And so you didn't have to look at your wide range of skills that you have for shooting firearms and wonder if this one thing is good, if this other thing, or try to remember all the things that you need to practice with regularly with a firearm. You now have a challenge that highlights a particular skill so that you can then look online at other places other than us, unless you come out and train with us in person, then we can help you out with stuff. But you can then find that one particular skill for that one particular challenge that you need to work on, and so it'll help focus your training efforts. So you won't be wasting time and money in a shotgun approach.
No, yeah.
Yeah. Not only are the challenges beneficial from a training aspect in identifying things that you need to work on, but it's also incredibly fun. Shooting your typical drills, whether it's a bill drill, Mozambique, things like that. It's fun, but you can only do that so many times before you get bored of doing that.
Yeah.
And that's one of the big benefits of NOOB is right now, with the rewrite that we did for the paper targets, just pistol challenges. I think in total, we have somewhere around 150 or 160 different challenges available. A lot of those challenges are the same challenge. There's just a modification to it that might change the parameters on time, distance, round count, things like that. Right. Nonetheless, though, it's still a variation that makes that challenge difficult. But in total, we have, I think, about 150, maybe even more. And so you can you and a friend could play NOOB over and over and over again, and each time it would be different just because of the way the challenges are selected, the challenges that are selected and how you run those. So it's very applicable to training, and it's a lot of fun to play. So we're excited to get out there and hopefully promote this soon, which is something that we plan on doing when I get back and both of our schedules align, getting on the road and going and visiting other YouTube channels and playing it with them, along with just people in general. So that'll be fun.
We gotta get you lined up with some events all up and down the coast here, like gun shows and stuff like that, so we can, even if we gotta do your favorite thing on the planet, which is the pepper ball guns, or bring airsoft ones, so that they can be practiced and fired at the events.
Yeah. Yeah,
that might be something to think about.
Yeah, running it with airsoft, especially for demonstration purposes, running it for airsoft would make a lot of sense at like a gun show or something.
Yeah.
Because they would get pretty upset if you ran NOOB live. You could do it once for sure.
Oh,
and
yeah.
then after that, they're going to get pretty upset. And so using airsoft guns, like an airsoft pistol or something like that, just to demonstrate the concept of the game would be a very good idea.
Yeah. Might be something to consider doing in like the go on the road show. If I can make it happen, I'm thinking about trying to make sure that we can get out to what is it, one in Vegas every year out there? SHOT Show. Yeah, that we can get you set up over there. That'd be a good opportunity for you too.
Yeah, that's something Kennedy and I have talked about before. Once we get everything launched and operational with NOOB, hopefully we can do a SHOT Show and help promote that. One of the things that we're waiting on right now in terms of launching the new version of NOOB is to have all the demonstration videos filmed, because in order to put the QR code on the individual challenge forms,
right,
that will take you to that particular demonstration video, we have to have the demonstration video filmed, edited, and uploaded so that I can get the link and attach the QR code. And so
minor
that's
details.
the limbo that we're in right now.
You say minor details, but for each video that I have to edit, there's 150 times at least 3 hours. So there's a little bit of effort that goes into that.
I sense some hostility in that comment there, Kennedy. It's not like you've already edited these videos once. It's also not like, not to shoot it down or anything, but it's also not like you can't just go through the footage you've already done and pull out the challenge explanations and just edit that short.
They're all different.
Well, actually, yeah, because those are the previous ones that we did in the NOOB videos early on were on the metal targets.
Yeah.
And so now we have to use the paper target version. And
robot.
These demonstrations, there's no shenanigans, there's nothing. Yeah, this is the challenge. These are the details. This is how you perform it. And the good thing with the challenge videos is it's not like we have to film 150 videos, because each challenge video, if we have a challenge that has modifications to it, so let's say Hurry Up. I think Hurry Up has several different mods available for that challenge that might change the time, distance, round count, things like that. We wrap all of those modifications into one demonstration video. So at the end of the demonstration video, if there's any modifications to that challenge, then we explain what the modification is. And so that reduces the amount of challenge videos that we have to film, because we can just wrap it all up into one if it's the same challenge. The plus side is with me being gone right now and Kennedy being busy and us not being able to film anything right now, is on my downtime, I'm currently working on the rewrite for PCC rifle challenges. So hopefully by the time I get back and we're able to continue filming the pistol demonstration videos, and then we get out on the road and start promoting NOOB, we should have all of the challenges written for rifle PCC. And so we'll be able to do both pistol and rifle PCC challenges and show those to everybody. And then once that rewrite for pistol, the rewrite for rifle and PCCs is finished, that we're going to start on challenges that'll combine both pistol and rifle together. So,
which would be fun.
which that'll be fun.
I'm picturing the old Call of Duty. Remember, switching to your secondary is always faster than reloading.
Yep.
Yeah.
Alright.
So that's what's going on with Noob.
You got a lot of good changes.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. We're excited about it.
So did you, I know it's looking way into the future, but did you guys come up with a itinerary on places you're looking to explore with promotion cities first? Like, you
not
thinking
yet.
East Coast first? You thinking you're going to go drive the southern tier first, out southwest?
It'll
So,
pretty much
something-
rely on who we get to shoot with us. That'll determine where we go.
Fair.
So we're not going to
Yeah.
drive around to people's ranges and say, "Hey, he got this thing you might want to see," because they
Door-to-door
have guns.
salesman Kennedy.
Yeah, well, you know, that's not my strong suit. I'll be standing behind Baker.
Well, with your newly acquired contacts, I'm sure you might be able to make it to a future event as well. I think you guys have been to one before anyway, haven't you?
Yeah, but
Yeah.
we got super lucky with that one. We got super lucky.
Yeah, we did.
So we don't really have. I don't see that kind of luck happening again. So
Don't ever
hopefully
write
I
anything
stay
out,
on
man.
people's good side and the people that I know.
Just don't
that
mess up
Baker
the video.
knows. Huh?
Just don't mess up a video. You'll be fine.
I'm not gonna mess up a video. I don't mess up videos, son. I take my time. I stir that shit like a pot. I'm like Ratatouille with no
Ideally-
hair and no tail.
Ideally, and we've talked, Kenny and I have talked about this several times. Ideally, the first place that we would really like to go to showcase Noob is out to Texas, the Brand Herrera, the owner operator, those guys. One, because of their reach, and two, it's really not that far of a drive for us to make. It's a relatively simple trip to go out there and do that.
Yeah, it's
No.
within 6 hours or 6 to 8 hours, right?
Yep.
Yeah. Yep. And so ideally, that's where we would like to start. But at the same time, if we get a person or several channels in a particular area or region that want us to come out there and do that, then we'll head out there first.
Yeah.
Okay.
You know what we might need
Yeah.
to end up doing? We might just need to end up going down to NOLA. Doing that one thing that we don't want to do and physically going down there and talking to Isaiah and seeing if we could get him, you know,
Yeah.
because he's terrible at answering text messages.
Yeah.
Well, another thing to think about too, I haven't been there. I was supposed to go there, but I haven't been there. But, you know, there's a little bit of a vacuum currently on a location for that event. Maybe hosting one in your municipality would be possible.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
would be,
I would.
Bring the mountain to Mohammed.
well, that would be something that would have to be done after we upgrade the range.
Yeah.
Not just upgrade, we'd have to wildly expand it.
Yeah.
That's fair.
Which is something that's on the books
Mhm.
to get done. I don't know what it probably won't happen this physical year just because I'm gone.
Yeah.
But hopefully, some point soon, we'll be able to dedicate some time and resources to clearing the current range, leveling the land, and then putting up berms.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Yep.
So,
Well, it sounds
Well-
like you guys got a good little 5-year plan going for that.
We've got
Yeah.
we've got a 3-month.
he's got a 5-year plan. What was that? What movie was that? Big Daddy or whatever it was?
Yeah, I think so.
It's an Adam Sandler movie
Yeah.
It was an Adam Sandler.
where his ex-girlfriend works at Hooters and she's dating the cook because he's got a 5-year plan, the old guy.
Yeah. Yeah, that was Big Daddy. Yeah.
Yeah. That's
Okay.
what, yep. He's got a 5-year.
For a second,
Yeah.
I was thinking, "Who's your daddy?" But no, that's wrong. That's wrong.
that's different. That's completely different.
That's
Well, all right. I guess
we'll line from that one.
I guess that would be.
Turtly enough for the Turtle Club.
I
So
guess that's it for the
we've been
live
streaming
stream.
for an hour and 55 minutes.
Hour and 15 minutes.
Nice.
No, an hour and 55.
Well, according to YouTube, you started streaming an hour and 15 minutes ago.
I'm looking at my little
Yeah.
screen right here. It says live for an hour and 55. So I'm going to go based on that.
Okay.
And we know YouTube is a liar, so.
Don't
Big
you
liar.
dare call out the algorithm like
Big
that.
liar. YouTube's the kind
Next
of
thing you know,
liar-
it's going to SIG you.
I'm not worried about that. Nobody can do anything with it anyway. YouTube's the kind of liar that would bring a fleshy colored object to a WNBA game and not try to stick it onto the suction cup.
No,
That's
they
what
would just
YouTube
sit
does.
on it. They'd stick it to their seat and sit and slide.
Yeah, there you go. There you go.
Well,
It's an
Grim, we
important
appreciate you
thing.
jumping on the call with us.
Yeah, thanks
Yeah.
for having me.
And
And
maybe
everybody
in the future,
who was in the comment section, we appreciate that.
maybe in the future, I could actually show Baker. Do me a favor, real quick, Baker. Run a speed test where you're at.
Okay.
Look for the upload speed. If the upload speed is anywhere near
Ookla.
30 or 50 megabits per second, you might end up having to host a live stream.
So right now it's
Watch, he's going to get
Test.
better internet speed over there in the northern tip of Antarctica than you
Yeah.
are.
More than likely. More than likely.
it's still testing it.
Well, that's not a good. That's not good.
Yeah. I think I broke the internet. What's your current upload? Well, what's your download and upload there right now?
Right now, it is. Mine's doing the same thing yours doing. Hold on, I need to close that out.
Uh-oh. I guess we're plugged into the same server somehow.
I don't even know how that happens. Okay, so download speed 700, upload speed
Wow.
15.
Without even knowing what mine is, I would say yours is better.
Really?
Mine's still testing the download. Yeah.
Yeah, we're
Does
not
it
going
have-
to talk about mine.
Does it have the little needle moving, or is it just saying downloading and it's not? Nothing's happening.
There's a little dial that's moving,
Yeah.
but it's still just testing it.
Yeah.
Now, where I'm currently at is better internet than where I was at a few days ago.
Yeah.
And so I'm living pretty large right here in terms
Nice.
of internet.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's evidently still this bad. But it is what it is. Yeah.
See if it captured the screenshot or not.
I know
Or
what
not
we need to
it
do.
did.
TAC has
What?
fiber internet.
So
He's
do
got
I.
fast internet. So what we need to do, Baker, is we need to bring him on as an editor for Intuitive Defense so that he could start a live stream and then we could hop on. That's the only solution that I see. Because my apartment complex, they're not getting faster internet anytime soon.
So while
Which
I'm
is-
streaming with you guys right now, my download is 600 and my upload is 750.
Okay, so we've got
Wow.
options. We've got options on who we can
Wow.
bring in as a second co-editor
Yeah.
for a live stream.
Wow.
Yeah, that's
Hmm.
fiber optic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, granted, my internet's about to change, so we'll see how it goes when I move to the new place.
You haven't tested it at the new house?
No, it's getting installed next week.
Oh.
Hmm.
but it's supposed to be better. So I'm getting commercial internet, and it's supposed to be 2 gig
God,
fiber.
Wow.
This is fiber 1 gig residential, not 2 gig commercial.
You're gonna look like Scarlett Johansson from Lucy when you get on your computer.
You
The
can have-
amount
no,
of data
I've
you're
been
gonna be able
told
to
it.
process.
I was gonna say, I was told it doesn't fix appearance; it just fixes grainy. So they're gonna get to see my ugly mug even clearer.
Yeah, that's the problem I have. That's the problem. I have.
Why do you think my camera's been off this whole time?
There you go. Yeah.
Mine too. Oh wait. Oh no.
No.
Well,
Well, all right.
all right, gents.
Yeah.
We'll go ahead and shut this down. But thanks again, Grim, for jumping on and
Appreciate it.
participating.
course.
Thank you again for everyone who jumped in the comments and asked some questions and participated there.
Thank you, Ashley. Thank you, Corey. Thank you, Joe. Kat. I think that's all
Yep.
people.
And I think it's just you,
All right.
me, Baker, and Ashley watching at this point because there's only 4 people watching.
I think so too. Yeah. I think
Yeah.
so too.
And I think the only reason Ashley's still on is because she fell asleep with her phone on. And
She does that a lot.
so,
Yeah.
but I'll take the view. It's still a view.
I'm down with
So.
that. Absolutely.
Right?
All
All
right.
right, gents. Good call. I appreciate it. And we will talk to you later.
Y'all
Later.
take it easy. And here's the last one. Dicks. 'Cause that's
Phallic
my
shaped
nickname.
objects.
Oh, phallic. Hey, what was that? What's the sound of a phone whenever it's disconnected?